The most important person in history you've probably never heard of is Norman Borlaug. Those of you who are farmers or were involved with agriculture probably know who I'm speaking of. Borlaug led the Green Revolution, received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1970, and has some very interesting characteristics. I understand Norman's work well from growing up on a farm and living just 20 minutes from the Borlaug Learning Center. Norman Borlaug led the Green Revolution, received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1970, and has some very interesting characteristics. First, we will touch on the Green Revolution and how Norman Borlaug's work impacted it. The Green Revolution was the greatest increase in yields of food-grade grains such as wheat and rice. Thanks to Borlaug's help, new, highly yielding, disease-resistant hybrids were created to thrive in areas such as Mexico and India. Yields on average doubled or tripled in these countries. Norman Borlaug had to figure out how to grow more crops on less land. He learned that a long wheat stalk would be able to receive more sunlight, but a short wheat stalk would be able to support more grain. Borlaug spent his early years working with very poor farmers in Mexico. He was focused on creating a highly yielding crop that would ultimately alter the livelihood of these farmers. Now that you understand Borlaug's work, let's talk about the recognition he received from it. Borlaug received the Nobel Peace Prize from the Norwegian Nobel Committee for his contributions to the Green Revolution. Norman received his medal and diploma during the Nobel Prize ceremony in Oslo, Norway on December 10, 1970. According to NobelPrize.org, Borlaug stated in his acceptance speech that I am one member of the vast army fighting world hunger. I accept the award with my brothers in arms, and that the Green Revolution has not been won yet. Borlaug described in his acceptance speech that we all must come together and work as one if progress against world hunger will continue. Norman Borlaug was a good representative of one who stood with Alfred Nobel's efforts to promote brotherhood between people and their countries. Borlaug's work was incredible, and he had some good characteristics that helped him progress. Borlaug was once a plain old farmer like a lot of people in my area, but he was also a brilliant scientist who had insight, intelligence, and a lot of determination. Borlaug was raised in Iowa, so he had something I like to call Iowa nice. Iowa nice meaning he would communicate with others and always be there to give a helping hand. He often communicated with people from other countries that helped him understand how they were feeling about their agricultural struggles. Borlaug was able to help them overcome their battles with low yields and disease. If Borlaug were to have quit, I wouldn't be here speaking about him today. He kept his nose on the grindstone because he knew someday he could help solve one of the world's biggest problems. Norman Borlaug was extremely intelligent. He studied at multiple universities, which helped him to advise others who may not have went to college or studied, and he helped them to grow a more successful crop. Now you know about the most important person in history that you've probably never heard of, Norman Borlaug. You know, even if you aren't a farmer, you can probably understand how Borlaug's work was so crucial to solving world hunger. I've told you about Borlaug's part in the Green Revolution, his receiving of the Nobel Peace Prize, and some of his interesting characteristics. The next time you bite into a slice of wheat bread, think of Borlaug and remember that you wouldn't have that bread if it wasn't for him and his advances in the wheat crop.